go to jail for something of a cause, not for nothing stupid. Again, my perspective is black. You born in jail. This is how it is. But we gotta take a quick break. Cheryl, you wanna hold it with us real quick? Cause we gotta go. I'm here. Okay, we gotta take some station breaks and stuff, so and good stuff like that. Pay the bills. And pay the bills. Listen to the Severe Bay Show. We have Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey on the line. Our co-host Kalon Sanders, Black L. Day. Our girls in the room, Sal and Hayes. And that's Shaq Simmons on the 1 2. We'll be right back. Ready, brother? All right.
That's how real it is. It's that real. So peace and love to Sabir Bay for always lining me up. Always lining me up nice and proper so we can damage this fraud that's trying to do some stuff out here. 7:04, so you already know when teachers are late, we're gonna make up the time, so don't worry about it. 7th of October, this is Canaanland Moors class. Don't fall into the marvelous light reverse. Getting serious right now. We want to say Islam to all the Moors worldwide, all the Moors that say, hey, yo, Cujo, thanks for putting out that video. Islam to all those Moors, Islam to all the Moors who support, active, civic-minded Moors. We want to also, put it on the record once again, willofalah.com. Make sure you go support the new album, Iron Sheik 5, because Iron Sheik's not playing around and, one album every 8 years, right? Fifth album, double album, second double album, fifth album altogether. Moorish Master MC, Iron Sheik 5, willofalah.com. Don't front, it's only 20 notes. It's not even nothing crazy, right? And when you buy it, you could bootleg it. And you could sell it if you want to and make $1 million. And it's okay. Because my work's done already. It's right here. So just go get that, willofalah.com. And I just big up some people, put them on the record. Abadan, Roots Kizzy Bay, Stevie Thunder, Deontay King Boom, Me and My, Black Dot, Zulu Nation, Africa Bambata, Sheik Ron, One Oak, Kumo, Kenyatta, Calling Out, CMP Studios, KTS, Patricia, Secret Society Productions, Anonymous, KGP, Kia Beats, of course, Raheem Wahid, of course, Cosmo L, you know what I mean? Everybody's on this. Casanova Bay's on this. Sekem L's on this. Grimace Love, YOK, big up to Monolith, you know what I mean? You already know how we do. We still here. Khalik Bay's on this, and Nova L's on this. So support Moors, because that's how we do with Moors. People say there's no unity, but there's an album right there with all these Moors from all over the country on it. And they're going to say there's no unity. So don't fall for the marvelous light reverse. Don't fall for the marvelous light reverse. Today's paper, the bootleg paper. Oh yeah, and then it's the 7th of October, um, 2014. Okay, this is today's paper, all right? What are we talking about on Sabir Bay Show? Just to show you how everything's lining up, because Sabir Bay Show is at 6 o'clock or whatever, and I got this morning, 8 o'clock going to work. So, you already know somebody's lining something up. So we're talking about the fraud of all these, ministerial, municipal, whatever, pretending that they have some governmental authority, right? So this is the one that's going on right now, out here in Canaanland. Tell me if you'll take this stuff serious. Pastafarian minister can't wear colander. Get him on the record. The Pastafarian minister can't wear colander on his British Columbia driver's license. Pastafarian. It's real, huh? It's not even played right now. It's all real it is. A Surrey, BC man is boiling mad. He can't legally drive until he removes his unusual religious headgear, a spaghetti strainer, for his driver's license photo. Right? Check the name now. Obi Canuel. Obicanuel. 36. Said he tried to renew his interim driver's license on Friday, but was told the Insurance Corporation of BC would not issue him a new one until he agreed to take off the colander. I refused, Canuel told Metro. I want to have the right to express myself in the religious way of my choosing. A self-styled Pastafarian, Canuel's plight began nearly a year ago when he tried to renew his driver's license while wearing a colander. In July, the issuer sent Canuel a letter refusing to grant him a new license using the photo, stating there is no religious requirement that prohibits you from removing the colander. As an ordained minister, as an ordained minister in the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, a parody religion in which members say they believe the world was created by a drunken flying spaghetti monster. Canuel said ICBC's refusal to allow him to wear a colander for his driver's license photo infringes on his rights under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Certificates of ordination can be obtained by anyone who sends $20 US to the website vengaza.org. It certainly seems that the ICBC is less friendly towards Pastafarians, and I wish that they would embrace the spaghetti a little more, Canuel said. Adam Grossman, a spokesman for ICBC, said the insurance corporation only issued Canuel an interim driver's license while they considered his request to wear the colander. Interim driver's licenses are never intended to be anything other than temporary, Grossman wrote in an email. Grossman said ICBC always tries to accommodate customers with head coverings where their faith prohibits them from removing it, but that Canuel could not provide any proof his faith prohibits it. As for Canuel's next step, he isn't sure if he plans to give up his battle against ICBC yet. The future, yo, this is my new superhero, huh? This is my new superhero. Obi Canuel. The future is as murky as a boiling pot of pasta, he said. But I have faith that things will turn out right for me. Right? For starting up for his pasta rights. Right? There he is. Because says, his religion says, you know what I mean? He's Pastafarian. Right? On a driver's license. And they're actually having a conversation with this individual. That's the part that how come they didn't do like when they do it more, just acquiesce to his stuff? They're actually going through the process of engaging this individual. The body is a Pastafarian. Isn't that apparent fraud? Isn't that just fraud like all over the place? Isn't that just fraud all over the place? That uh so-called governmental office, a so-called governmental office, right, is engaging a man who said that he's an ordained minister of the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. How come they didn't do like the church, since church and state, are together, right? How come they didn't just do like the church and not even consider what this guy's talking about? Yeah, church not stepping up saying, no, you can't use the word church and all that, because church belongs to, what I mean? Jesus Christ brought that. They, they'll default on him. Yeah, guy's an idiot. Pastafarian. And this so-called governmental office is dealing with him. Right? That's no different than the Moors, that Canaanland Grand Sheik Kudro Adwell knows and engages with, and they still have conversation, what I mean? They don't talk about Kudro's dirty and all this type of stuff, that they went to court and they got sent to a madhouse, right? And Kudro is calling them through the reception of the madhouse. And he's supposed to be schizophrenic, but they're giving him the phone. And we're having the phone for 2 hours. And they didn't say anything. No other crazy people getting calls. I'm hearing all the yelling and the whatever going on in the background. Like the real madhouse. And he's at the reception on the phone. Apparent fraud. Clear as day fraud. If you're telling me that this crazy person that he went to court and the judge said, oh yeah, he has to go get whatever psychic evaluation. And then he goes, gets evaluation, and then the evaluation comes back, they go back to court again. And the court says, okay, you're a crazy guy, you have to go in the crazy house. And then he goes into the crazy house as a crazy guy. And while he's in the crazy house, while he's in the madhouse, I'm not calling him for who the name on the court paper. I'm calling him in his Moorish name, Shaquan L, Shakim L. And they're like, hold on a second. And if he's not there, they'll take a message and get him the message. But he's in the madhouse though. And the judge put an order saying that he has to go get psychic evaluation. Right? So it's not, and that's what I mean. I mean psychic evaluation. I'm not messing up what I'm saying, how other people talk. No, I mean psychic evaluation. Because crazy people and quote-unquote retarded people are the smartest people if you sit down and have a conversation with them. Remember, I work, people say I'm an agent or whatever. Yeah, I work in the school board. But, the little retarded boy in the school, who everybody is running away from or whatever, you sit down and talk to him, he'll tell you that there's spaceships and stuff. He sees them. He sees them. And then he's running around the school, spinning around, just like swirling dervishes, just spinning around. And then just stop spinning and just go back to walking. So one of these so-called sane people do that. Right? It's real out here. It's real in the field. We were talking about this last week, just wanted to put it on the record. Mexico reconquers California. Absolute drinks to that. The latest advertising campaign in Mexico from Swedish vodka maker Absolute promises to push all the right buttons south of the US border, but it could ruffle a few feathers in El Norte. The billboard and press campaign created by advertising agency, forget their name, and now running in Mexico is a colorful map depicting the Americas might look like an absolute, i.e. perfect world. The U.S.-Mexico border lies where it was before the Mexican-American War of 1848. Oh yeah, just for everybody. When you come to Canaanland Moors, Just like when you go everywhere else, make sure you have pens or whatever. I'm not talking about the people who've been here. New people, there's lots of new people. It's crazy right now. All the new people, make sure you have a pen. Make sure you have 3 pens because guarantee pen might stop working just because, you know what I mean? And stop for sometimes and do your, stretches and stuff because you cramp your fingers when you come on this. And then don't forget 9:30, Moorish Heritage and History School, Eyes Wide Open, MHHS, Eyes Wide Open at 9:30. After this, for all the new people on Blog Talk Radio. This is how we do. So make sure you have pens and you write down stuff and go check, just so you know. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Don't listen to what you're hearing on radio, blog talk shows, the Severe Bay Show, whatever. Right? You make sure you go check to see that what we're saying is really right and exact, is verifiable, nothing to argue. It's unavoidable that we're dealing with truth. So people can do whatever, say what they want, but make sure you have pens and go check out the stuff. So the U.S.-Mexico border lies where it was before the Mexican-American War of 1848, when California, as we know it, was Mexican territory and known as Alta California, ALTA California. Following the war, the Treaty of Guadalupe, Hidalgo saw the Mexican territories of Alta California and Santa Fe de Nuevo Mexico ceded to the United States to become modern-day California, Texas, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, and Arizona. So all the Moors who are in that jurisdiction, just like we in the north say Canaanland, and we don't talk about, whatever jurisdiction they talk about. We say Canaanland, we say Morocco, we say Amexum, Northwest Amexum, right? If you're in the state, so-called state, of California, Texas, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, or Arizona, start saying you're in Mexico. Just start saying you're in Mexico. You start engaging people, talking to people, start saying you're in Mexico. And then, if you want to get hype with it, you can say Societas de República et al. Mexico, Moracanos. Because that's why, the Botanicas have Moroccan candles and stuff like that, because they know that they're Moors. They know the Moroccans. Nojo Ali told us historical, documented facts that you go look up. And Absolute Vodka, people go get smashed on their face, can't even walk or whatever, Sunday morning to go to church, fall over, right? But they don't know that Absolute Vodka, who they just got smashed, gave $40 or whatever for a bottle, knows that what Mexico is up with. So maybe go research that stuff there, because you're not no babysitter. You're going to do your own homework. Sorry, but you don't babysit. You're on your own. We want to read the definition, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition, page 1031. Law of the land, due process of law. By the law of the land is most clearly intended the general law which hears before it condemns, which proceeds upon inquiry and renders judgment only after trial. Deputy versus Tedora. The meaning is that every citizen shall hold his life, liberty, property, and immunities under the protection of general rules which govern society. Rich Hill Coal Company versus Brasher. Everything which may pass under the form of an enactment is not the law of the land. When first used in Magna Charta, the phrase probably meant the established law of the kingdom, in opposition to the civil or Roman law. It is now generally regarded as meaning general public laws binding on all members of the community. James, Jens versus Reynolds. It means due process of law, warranted by the Constitution, by the common law adopted by the Constitution, or by statutes passed in pursuance of the Constitution. Law of the land, Black's Law Dictionary. And then don't forget, we'll just, check just to be sure, what we're dealing with, right? So, copyright 1871. 1871. Okay. So we're gonna go to our good sister, Ida B. Wells, from her speech, Mob Murder in a Christian Nation, in 1909. Right? I'm gonna babysit you a little bit right now. So we're just gonna skim through some of this. All right. Why is mob murder permitted by a Christian nation? What is the cause of this lawful slaughter? This question is answered almost daily. Always the same shameless falsehood that, quote unquote, Negroes are lynched to protect womanhood. Standing before a Chautauqua, Chautaauqua, assemblage, John Temple Graves, all once champion of lynching and apologist for lynchers, said, "The mob stand today as the most potential bulwark between the women of the South and such a carnival of crime as would infuriate the world to precipitate the annihilation of the Negro race." End quote. This is the never-varying answer of lyncher and their apologists. All know that it is untrue. The cowardly lyncher revels in murder, then seeks to shield himself from public execration by claiming devotion to women. But truth is mighty, and the lynching record discloses the hypocrisy of the lyncher as well as his crime. Scroll down a little more. Is there a remedy? Or will the nation confess that it cannot protect its protectors at home as well as abroad? Various remedies have been suggested to abolish the lynching infamy, but year after year, the butchery of men, women, and children continues in spite of a plea and protest. Now, key point. This is Ida B. Wells, 1909. All right? Key point. Is there a remedy? Or will the nation confess that it cannot protect its protectors at home as well as abroad? Various remedies have been suggested to abolish the lynching infamy, but year after year, the butchery of men, women, and children continues. Not Negroes, not black people, not slaves, not all the misnomers that we cling on to as we spiral into this reversal of the marvelous light that everybody, is really bringing to us. Somebody's been lying to us saying that these were black whatever. Because Ida B. Wells' own words, she quoted unquoted Negroes, and when making reference to the lynching infamy and the butchery, she connected it to men, women, and children. Why? Let's continue on. The only certain remedy is to appeal to law. Lawbreakers must be made to know that human sacrifice is sacred, and that every citizen of this country is first a citizen of the United States and secondly a citizen of the state in which he belongs. This is Ida B. Wells talking. Black lady. Everybody likes to hold up her picture. This nation must assert itself and protect its federal citizenship at home as well as abroad. Isn't she talking to them like they're the public servant? Isn't she talking to them like they're the trustee? Isn't she talking to them like she's actually the authority? The strong men of the government must reach across state lines whenever unbridled lawlessness defies state laws, and must give to the individual under the stars and stripes the same measure of protection it gives him when he travels in foreign lands. Don't let these people convince you that our liberators and and mental reformers were pushing black Negro color and had no knowledge of the Constitution. This is 1909. This is before Noble Drew Ali. Remember, this is before Noble Drew Ali. So if she's on this before Noble Drew Ali, what do you think she's gonna do when Noble Drew Ali came on the scene and start talking all this constitutional stuff and that they're actually American citizen? This is before Noble Drew Ali. Ida B. Wells is speaking constitutional. Federal protection of American citizenship is the remedy for lynchings. Federal protection of American citizenship. American citizenship. And Raven just came out and said that she's American. Where do you think she get that stuff from? We're not talking about, don't worry about her sexual orientation. That's her business in the closet. Do whatever she wants to do in the closet. That's her business. Because she also said don't label her that. So, whatever. It's her business. How come she said she's American? How come she didn't say she's a U.S. citizen? How come she didn't say I was naturalized by the Moorish Science Temple of America, Temple number 13, to be a citizen? How come? How come she wasn't naturalized? And she went on Oprah and told Oprah to her face, fat, just want to slap her, told her to her face, even when she was trying to back her down, like, yo, no way, you can't be whatever. She's like, I'm American, get the hell out of here. Oprah, like you're somebody. Yeah, nobody. You work for your establishment. She might be gay, whatever, but she knows what's up. Don't get it twisted. She doesn't know what's up because she clearly said she's American. Who are all the Moors all over the place? Who you hear tell you that you're American? RVB. That's it. Everybody else try to convince you that you're some tribe of something. Only place you're gonna go and hear people tell you that you're American is RVB and anybody affiliated with them. Right now, 2014. Because everybody's trying to get you to think you're part of the Moorish Science Temple. That's the nation. When that's an institution, that's a part of the nation. That comes out of the nation. That's why it's Moorish Science Temple, or Moorish Holy Temple of Science, or Canaanite Temple, because those are connected to nations. It's not just name some guy made up and said, yeah, I'm going to call this Pastafarian. And we wear colanders. And that's our religion. And we're going to call ourselves L, and we're going to say that, yeah, that's our religion. But they're not showing any allegiance to the Moorish nation. Who's the real American citizen? We're not done with Ida B. Wells, huh? Just remember, this is Ida B. Wells. Everybody talks about her like she's the black lady. Nobody, nobody that you know that you heard talk about her told you that she was a constitutionalist before Noble Drew Ali. Before Noble Drew Ali. Just remember, before Noble Drew Ali, Ida B. Wells was talking about constitutional talk. Not civil rights crap, Negro acts, colored acts, black acts, and black codes, and whatever else that these people think is right when it's a privilege given to them by their slave master. She was talking Constitution, American citizen. None of these people say that they're American citizens, though, but they honor her, though. Just like they honor Khalid, go carry his casket and all that. Ask me if those casket carriers proclaim their nationality like he did. All those guys who carried casket for Ida B. Wells, who was a constitutionalist, Khalid, who came out said that he's a Moor, Michael Jackson, who came out told on Sonia and all those guys, and revealed to the world that, yeah, I'm actually the owner of everything. Forget all these guys in music. If you need something, come check me. Why? Because I'm the Moor. Mikael. Mikael. And what do they do to all those people? You know? Pac came up in the info. How we know that he was on constitutions and all that, whatever stuff and all that? What do you mean? You have a right to bear arms. You talking all that gun stuff. You talking all that shoot part. They got me trapped and kill pigs and stuff like that. Then you must have some type of constitutional mindset to be on guns like that. Oh yeah, well, his family's Black Panthers and all that. You know, Shakur went to court, beat these guys up with law by herself, no lawyer and all that. So everybody's been on this, but you know, if we choose to play around, like Raven Simone freaking came out and said she's an American citizen. Everybody used to watch her. We seen her grow up or whatever. That's like somebody on the block had a child and we hung around them and know her. We know her. She came out and said she's an American citizen. On Oprah. But don't forget, remember, don't forget. How come Oprah's going so hard? Right? Hearst Corporation forcing her to do whatever? Nah, it ain't that. Um, Harpo, CEO, board of director, whatever, pressuring her to ask questions to Raven Simone about, why she's saying she's American. She needs to say that she's African American and all that. Nah, because Deion Sanders' show is on Oprah Network. And Oprah been getting told by Deion Sanders' children when she goes on Twitter, when she goes on Instagram, whatever, and then she has to see their stuff on there that says El Day on it, and that they're American citizens, and then all the writs or whatever that she been getting from Pilar Sanders, El Day, that she needs to stop playing the madness, right, and stop the damn show instead of supporting child abuse and domestic abuse. But nah, she's not gonna, you know what I mean, yield. She's gonna try to denationalize Raven on her network. Of course, that's funded by the U.S. bankrupt guys that, she's wealthiest. Woo, black lady, the wealthiest black lady. Oh yeah, she's broke. She doesn't have anything. Everything she has, she got from a bankrupt corporation that's been bankrupt before she was born, and insolvent and dissolved. So she's broke. She's a slave working for the slave master to keep other people enslaved with her, overseer power, her house power. You know, she's the one with the whip, so she could do the strut or whatever. Well, the generation coming or whatever, see how they banned that guy from St. Louis talking crap about he doesn't want to help the black community or whatever? And the black people said, okay, forget that guy. Excellent. That's where we need to go. That's where we need to go, right? Get back to your foremothers and forefathers mindset and just start thinking. And you see stuff going on and realize, hold on a second. Raven said she's an American citizen. Why did she say that? Why didn't she say she's a U.S. citizen? Why didn't she say that she was a U.S. citizen? Why did she say American? Of everything, why doesn't she want to be called African American? Why doesn't she want to be labeled gay or lesbian or whatever? Why? Because people are human beings. Like, you know what I mean? I don't care if the guy wants to go touch sheep or something like that. Like, that's his business. He's gonna deal with that when he goes wherever he's supposed to go. That's not my business. But if you're talking constitutional, that do your touching of whatever stuff over there. Don't let me hear about it. Don't bring it up around me or nothing like that. And stick to the protocol when you're dealing with me. Because, stuff get out of hand, you might get something just because, you know what I'm saying? The Great Seal, Constitution, Zodiac Constitution, Divine Constitution, whatever Constitution that you want to say is the supreme one, doesn't protect criminality. Simple. So if you're talking constitutional, know that if you're dealing with criminality in whatever shape, form, whatever considered criminality to the divine laws or the universe, yeah, they're on your own, right? So don't be don't be played by your own people trying to convince you that in order to be an American citizen, you have to be naturalized. Because Raven came out and said she's an American citizen. And Oprah tried to do the same crap that Dirty Moors are doing, get people to think, oh yeah, there's some religion, paperwork doesn't matter, it doesn't matter how the card looks like, just take this paper thing, you know what I mean, you can show that, and then they'll, and they got, the Moorish movement on Lele. They got the Moorish movement on, vibrate on a low frequency. And then people are coming and picking the frequency back up, and because these guys been, chilling, not keeping themselves fit or whatever like that, Moors are coming through with the minds that are active, pineal glands, like a heart's beating, and exercising certain things. Making these people look like fools because they've been had this for 80 years and they've done nothing like what certain Moors have done with this in past 15, 20, 25 years. People had this for 80 years. Telling people that they're black and all that. And that you have black leaders and you have black this and you have black that and the Negro this and, right? But we're reading something from a so-called black leader and they're talking about Constitution. 1909. Talking about Constitution. In a multitude of counsel there is wisdom. Upon the grave question presented by the slaughter of innocent men, women, and children, not Negroes, blacks, coloreds, African, blah, 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 blah. Upon the grave question presented by the slaughter of innocent people, human beings, men, women, and children, there should be an honest, courageous conference of patriotic, law-abiding citizens anxious to punish crime promptly, impartially, and by due process of law. Also to make life, liberty, and property secure against mob rule. So she's talking about, lynchings. And these people that are committing these lynchings, right? And the charade is that these people doing these lynchings are, these KKK white supremacists or whatever like that, and they dress up and they burn crosses on people's lawn, they hang people from trees and all this type of stuff. When those guys were the mayor, the chief of police, the janitor for whatever high school, the doctor of the so-called jurisdiction, city, county, or whatever like that. You know, no different than it is today. Who's the mob ruling right now? So-called people call themselves official government. Judge tell a guy 20 years for something he didn't even do, and there's evidence there to prove he didn't do it, and you gotta give him 20 years just because, stenographer who's giving him the head every morning didn't heat the coffee up, make the coffee pot, and he's mad. And he's taking it out on everybody who comes up to that thing on that day. Whatever you got, 20 years. Yeah, but just trying to put out a license, you know, 20 years. Next. And then all these people, Ida B. Wells, 1909, told them, for enforce the Constitution, right? Question of, we need honest, courageous, confident, patriotic, law-abiding citizens who want to punish crime, be impartial through due process of law, life, liberty, property, and all that. But no, they don't want that. They want to play the, master and plead and beg master to do something. Or master, could you please give us or whatever? We need grant money because, children are dying in the community or whatever like that. When there's all these drug dealers around here driving Benzes or whatever, and you guys not going to go to them and go get the fiat from them to go build a school. I mean, they live in the community too. What's the issue? Oh, because Willie Lynch, right? Yeah, and then Willie Lynch make the man be afraid of the woman and not listen to her and blah blah blah. When Willie Lynch is a fake speech that her brother wrote. Manu and Pim put it out there. The guy even put it out there. Yeah, I wrote this, and people are gonna reference Willie Lynch letter as a source for the psychological trauma that we got, from European to justify some slave crap. We continue to call you black. Now, Ida B. Wells is here telling you about constitutional authority and de jure citizenry. Time was when lynching appeared to be sectional, but now it's a national. Now it is national. A blight upon our nation. Blight on her nation. What nation is she talking about? The American nation. The Al-Moroccan nation. Ida B. Wells, 1909. Ida B. Wells telling people that her nation is American. Just like Raven and Pilar told Oprah. But she don't want to hear it. You try to convince them, oh, no. Nah. You're African American. What's your nationality, Oprah? I bet you should say American. Because people are so um, falling into the marvelous light that these clowns don't even know that Africa is synonymous with Moor. So if you say you're African American, you're still Moorish American. Fool. And you want to go and be a U.S. citizen. And you want to go naturalize with some Moors who say that they're the Moorish National Republic, but they're registered to a bankrupt corporation. Talk about they have authority to naturalize. And you're part of a bankrupt corporation? How you have authority to naturalize? And how are you using a name and trying to represent that as a nation? No different than a Mexican Moor empire. What is that? That's not an empire. Oh, you're gonna fall for that crap that they're go right ahead. We're not stopping nobody's fiat. But grandma said who don't hear is gonna feel. And that's that time right now. I know Battle Bay knows what I'm talking about. I know Brother Sheldon L knows what I'm talking about. All the Caribbean people, they know what's up with Grandma said, "Who don't hear must feel." It's simple, you know, but that's divine law. That's divine law from grandma. Who don't hear must feel. That's divine law. That's highest science known to man. From lady used to, go under the house, I mean, sweep with the, I know. Finish off with Ida B. Wells because she is damaging the place right now for all these black fakers who want to hold her up as some black lady when she's talking about constitutional. Just like how Moors talk. Just like how Moors talk, she's talking. Also put that in your mind. That she's not a black lady talking about constitutional stuff. She's a Moor. She's an American citizen. American citizen, huh? You guys have me tripping right now. Time was when lynching appeared to be sectional. But now it is national. National. Find me a black guy. Give me the meaning of that word. A blight upon our nation, mocking our laws and disgracing our Christianity. What, right? And who's the first Moor to come out and say that? Oh, Abdullah El Bey, Alim Bey, all the Moors who, study etymology or whatever like that, who been in the lodge, stole all books that those guys had in their lodge about this is all our stuff. And then put it out there for the people to know that, yeah, Masonry, Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, everything is the Moors stuff because all that's Moor science. She said our Christianity. Why did she say our Christianity? Oh, you want to know why? Go to moorishcivilletter.net, Moorish, CIVILLETTER.net. And that's Brother Abdullah Talib Mozi Bey. And he's a master. He's a master. And he has a website. There it is. And make sure you go on that website and find out why Christianity is your stuff. He's on YouTube as well. Just put his name in. Don't worry, just put Moors Masonry and he'll come up. Guaranteed he'll come up. Ida B. Wells, 1909. All right. People carry her casket and they'll call her a black lady. Call her a black lady. Carried her casket. Was that the thing? Put her in the ground and all that. Threw the flower in. First a little bit of, went to the wake, over the body, gonna miss you and all that stuff. And then you ask these people about Constitution right now, and they're gonna talk about, oh, that's the white man stuff. When she's saying our laws. Now, let's fuck this up because it's real. It's so real. Because all right. Okay. So, everybody wants to know, right? How don't Ujwali, whatever, gotta find out about, he went to this place, he went to that place. Nah, he couldn't have went there because how did he get over there, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's tell you. He didn't go anywhere. When he flew to all these places called Egypt, and he flew to all these places called India, and all these places to go get knowledge, he was talking about here. He didn't go anywhere. He was building with Ida B. Wells and all them people who were Aboriginal, Indigenous, Moorish, ancient foremothers and forefathers coming back just like him right? But he was on the highest scale. And trust me, all of them knew about him because all of them knew that he was coming. Because all of them were master Moorish Freemasons of the Lodge of Allah. Yeah, that's what they were. They weren't black people. All the so-called leaders that we say the leaders of the black whatever, and they have an organization called whatever, divinely, they were Moors of the most celestial order in a body that was dumb nigger. And just like how we were dumb nigger, and then we had to raise ourselves into our higher self and recognize that we have a nationality and this is our land, same thing that they had to do in 1909. And Ida B. Wells isn't the only one because, we have certain people who said that they're not going to go and sit in the back of the bus with the black guys because I'm not black, so I'm not sitting in the back of the bus. I'm white, so I'm going to sit in the front. Divinely, that's what it is. Forget what she said. I don't care what she said, why she did it. Divinely, she did it because she was white. Free, too. And this is my goddamn bus. You better go drive, shut the hell up. Because we'll shut this whole thing down. Which they did. Because they realized that this is their land. They don't need no goddamn bus to go anywhere. You just walk. You leave, 3 hours earlier for wherever you gotta go to so you get there on time. And you just walk everywhere. And shut down these people's bus. All these same people, constitutionalists. Forget what they said and forget what, sometime, stuff slipped out. Mountaintop speech and all this type of stuff, battling the bullet and whatever, coming into your higher self. You blurt out some stuff sometime that it's not you that said it, but hey, it's out there, so whatever. Can't do nothing now. Right? Because that's why it's the divine and national movement. Because divine's controlling this all the time. Doesn't matter what you want to do, what you think this is for, or whatever. Everything's divine. Because Allah runs the Moorish movement. And Allah handpicked all these people, Ida B. Wells, all these people to put out information. This is a speech of hers. All the black guys, write about it, talk about, oh yeah, that's what she's talking about, the white man is going to lynch people, and yeah, that's what, but they're not talking about Constitution or nothing like that she said. And want to convince people that, oh yeah, they're leader of something, so, follow them. And again, you just ask the question, you know what I mean? How come, right? How come Reverend Simone didn't naturalize? How come she didn't naturalize to be an American citizen? How come she just claimed it just because, I've been studying, been on RVB a few times. You know what I mean? She can't come out and say that, but I don't know nobody else that's been telling us that we're American other than that site as far as information is concerned. So we're just gonna put it on the record, right? Put it on the record. Put it on the record right now. You never heard it from anybody before, right? I'm telling you right now. Noble Drew Ali went and did all his traveling and went all over the world or whatever, as people say, right? To go get information. Because remember, only place names were mentioned, right? Only place names were mentioned. And it was talking about him coming back into the country and all this, right? He was here already. He don't go anywhere. Everything he wanted was here. All the high priests, all the master metaphysicians that he needed to go to get the information were here, right? Ahmadiyya movement and all these people, yeah, he went to them people and got information. Why? Because they knew he was coming for it. He wasn't going to them to get something. They had the stuff waiting for him. No different than Latif Bey's telling these Shriners and they're getting mad, want to murder him. Because he's telling them the Moors waking up, give them their stuff. And they're talking about murder him. Because our stuff. It's the Moors, the Americans, the true Americans. And there were many people in this land before the European. And all those people came here with information. And Noble Drew Ali, the Egyptian adept that he is, went to them. Just like when you read the Red Book, you find out that Yahshua went to the Greek guys who say that they're the highest of whatever. Okay, well, I'm going to go build with you guys. The Hindu guys said that they're the highest or whatever. Okay, I'm going to go build with you guys too. And then the Greek guys and the Buddhist guys are like, what's that? Same exact thing. You know what? He said whatever, give him what he wants. And then he got what he wanted because everybody knew that he was the prophet and he was going to come. Because it's not a secret to people who are in high chambers. That's why there's reconstruction of history. So you wouldn't be able to piece this thing together. You'll be scattered, following these guys over here, following these guys over here, following whatever. When certain people are coming out telling you what it is, nah, you want to go with that. Because this guy said, you know, I mean, whatever. And then he already got you for like 125, so you kind of feel obligated to him. You know, because you know he kind of owes you something, but you're not more enough to go say, I said 125 for some, you know, but I see nothing going on like those Moors over there. Like they got plates over there, those Moors over there, they got land, and they got courts closing, and then we're over here paying tickets. But nah, you're not gonna go talk to that guy because he's the head, and he convinced them, you know, that he's the head of the stuff. When the only head is Allah. That's the real head. And Allah doesn't play. And Allah puts things in the perspective that you get it. If you don't get it, probably not, you know, retarded. Probably, you know, eating some seedless something. Or, you know, some wormy flesh. And causing you to, not Willie Lynch, it's the diet. The diet is Willie Lynch. No European that enslaved us mentally for 500 years because he brought something from England and gave it to these other slave masters. Don't fall for crap. It was Ida B. Wells. Still on her. We haven't left her yet. Okay, actually, let's go to Prophet first because, you know, we'll go with the Prophet and then we'll backtrack to see if, you know, things are lining up properly. Because we have to prove that, you know, she's a Moor. We have to prove that this is more science that she's dealing with, right? So there's a published article from September 1928 in the Moorish Guide, and portion of the article. Keep in mind, everything that we're reading right now, have that on one side of your brain, and then all the things about Ida B. Wells that we just read, have that, and then, you know, put the two of them together, make them mesh, right? Make them fade. No bowl cuts. You need the fade look right now, mentally, with this. We don't want to get just the circle and then hair. we want to get we need the fade, right? It is not unusual for a newspaper to make its debut in the city of Chicago. The past years have seen many such come and many such go. The Moorish Guide takes its initial bow to the public, knows not what the future awaits it, but throwing its efforts on the sides of right, reason, and tolerance, we hope that we might make the grade. Okay? Big quotes, neon arrows, the underline, and then the underline, that's the dot, 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 dot. and then the underline, that's the line space, and then a line space, right? Whatever. What colors we could get? We want to put some balloons on stuff too? Okay, we could do that. The little frill stuff, okay, we can do that. You know, put a chandelier so the light could, and then we'll put some diamonds, right, in this right now so that it radiates, you know what I mean? So people can see this from far away. Why don't we just use our metaphysics, right, and put the reflection, right, of the moon, like transfer the reflection of the moon, since we're high scientists and whatever, right? And then put that on the statement that we're about to make right now, so it could be beaming so everybody could see and hear and recognize what's going on, right? The Moorish guide enters the field of journalism with malice toward none and charity to all. It is not our purpose to disregard the work of other splendid journals. It is not our purpose to fail to give due attention and space to all American citizens, individuals, and organizations alike who are working in their chosen fields of endeavor for the progress and development of all American citizens and all American institutions. The Moorish guide enters the field of journalism with malice toward none and charity to all. Noble Drew Ali. And Ida B. Wells now. Time was when lynching appeared to be sectional, but now it is national, a blight upon our nation, mocking our laws and disgracing our Christianity. And then we're going to take all the neon stuff that we just had on Noble Drew Ali quote, and then we're going to move it over. And we're going to put it right here for this quote now. Disregarding our laws and disgracing our Christianity, with malice toward none, but with charity to all, let us undertake the work of making the law of the land effective and supreme upon every foot of American soil, a shield to the innocent, and to the guilty punishment swift and sure. That's Ida B. Wells in her speech, Mob Murder in a Christian Nation. And she knew that blacks don't read, called it that. Just because, it's like Noble Drew Ali was taught by her, do this for future generations. Don't worry about these Negroes around here playing around that, they want rights, but they want to be Negro, black, colored people, and slaves came over here on a slave ship when we've been in this land because we're Americans. Ida B. Wells. I don't care if her great-great-grandmother and everybody in her line up to her was on a slave plantation. I don't care personally. She's talking constitutional right now. Forget all the slave crap that she went through, because that was denationalization. That was prisoner of war. That was in your own land, getting hijacked, getting kidnapped by somebody claiming to be an overseer of some whatever slave catcher or whatever like that, and then slave catcher he has a badge on and stuff like that he got from the police chief who's down with the KKK, who's doing all these lynchings or whatever that everybody's complaining about. Ida B. Wells. I'm gonna give some honors to her for standing up for the American nation, the Moorish nation. Ida B. Wells. Black lady. There's some of these fakers out here carrying people's caskets talking about they honor them. I'm gonna be cremated. Because none of you dirty bastards are getting a hat on me. Nothing physical as far as I'm concerned. Cremation. All these fakers want to come to Kudrow's funeral after talking, crying when they were talking shit about Kudrow. Dirty Moor and stuff like that. Well, properly cremated. The grovelers grovel. The dead bury the dead, all that good stuff. Because it's apparent, clear. It's very clear. It's bright as day that your own people been gaming you. Our own people been gaming us. The European has a calcified pineal gland. The so-called elite or whatever that's in control of some Illuminati secret society or world power, they're making Ebola viruses and all this type of stuff. Ebola virus. What virus talking about? I don't know what anybody's talking about viruses that some people call ISIS is doing something or whatever like that. I don't know. Out of sight, out of mind. Simple. Especially nowadays, because nowadays the theme is trust no one. Go check everything. Make sure it's legit. Go check everything. And we're not going to read this one because, give people some homework. This is 1906. 1906. And Mary Church Terrell. Terrell. Like, how much more obvious does this thing have to be? That all these people that they call black people are Moors. All these people that they call, um, um, Melungians and whatever, like mulattoes or whatever, are Moors. What it means to be colored in the capital of the United States. Remember, this is 1906, before Noble Drew Ali. I don't know where he learned all his constitutional stuff from, as far as in the Americas, from all these people that we've been faking calling black leaders, black power and all that stuff, when they were constitutionalists. And they dealt with rights, not privileges. And nobody wants to bring up that because, when you bring up that, that means you have to proclaim your nationality openly now because it's 2014 now. You can't play a black Negro colored game anymore because ask Eric Garner and all these people that they find stuffed in um, gym mats and stuff like that. What happens to people who don't have a nationality? Ask all those people who are out there protesting on some Ferguson crap, right? Negro black guy got killed by a white officer bullshit, right? And go ask them, how come they're arrested and wearing orange jumpsuits or whatever like that, and they're detained for the past week or whatever, 2 days, 5 days, how much ever it is, because they don't want to listen to Moors. They think this is some cult. They think this is some whatever, and they're getting snatched off the street, like right now, sending out their little agents. Just the past 2 weeks here, there was killings in schools. The past 2 weeks here, killings. Like guy has a gun in a school, shot somebody. Guy has stabbed somebody in his head or whatever like that. In a school, right? I don't know what the Mars doing about it. We already didn't go there. That was a good try though. That was a real good try. That ain't our school. So they're on their own. Whatever you gotta deal with there. That's not our stuff. That's some European stuff. We don't care about that. Right? To all the black power guys who like to carry caskets. You know what I mean? All the black power guys like to carry people's casket, wheel them around wheelchair and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because they're, starting to go back to the source. They're not going to talk about this stuff. They're going to quote all types of stuff. Oh yeah, you could just go on. That's what the track on Iron Cheek 5. The track Dead, Conscious People Dead, is for those guys. Just so everybody knows. Now you know why. Right? How come you're saying conscious people are dead? Because I'm talking about these black power guys who want to push their black power push their Hebrew Israelite, whatever, push their Rastafarian, whatever, push their NY, whatever, push their everything that has nothing to do with the nation, and then call it a nation, and then make up a flag and say that's their flag and all this type of stuff like that, right? And they're from, and they would never fess up, just like all their black power guys. We're gonna read right now, Kwame Ture, you know as Stokely Carmichael, because you guys want to honor him as a European, and you would never call him by his free name. Remember, this is Africa too, so you can have African name here. Back then, it's cool. We know Africa is synonymous with more. Anybody who says they're not going to call themselves by the European name that slave master gave them, guess what? They just proclaim their nationality as American, African, American, more. They call themselves more. It's their nationality. And they call themselves anything but a European name. And they're totally European. Nope, I don't recognize that name that you're trying to get me to say is me. Just like Raven said, nope, I'm not going to try to get you to. That was a good try, Oprah. See, Hearst Corporation taught you well, Oprah. It was a good way. Try to get me in the corner. I slither out the corner and get this interview done. Get the hell out of here, because this lady's crazy. So we're gonna go to Big Brother Stokely Carmichael. Everybody carried a casket, right? But they're not gonna do constitutional stuff, and they're gonna say Moors are tripping, and Moors are, oh yeah, the Moors lost the debate with Seti. No, Ali kicked his ass. Oh well, well, Ali Muhammad, it really dealt with Lord Abba. No, both those guys are joker smokers. Well, you know, Ali Muhammad really got Cujo. No, we didn't. We exposed that guy as a fraud too. People still backing him or whatever, but it's evident that people are fraud, right? And it's not people. It's not even registering with people. They're still going to stupid classes, debates, or whatever by these stateless people. And all they have to do is proclaim their nationality because they're American citizens. How come? Well, America is, copper-toned races that's been here before European came here. It's in the white man's definition of stuff. And nobody wants to, you know, what's the key? They showed it in the Malcolm movie. He started reading the dictionary. Not paperback. Remember, it wasn't paperback dictionary. So that means it was unabridged. And then if it's unabridged, that means that it's going to lead you to also etymology. But they show all that. You're not going to get to the good part with the guy having the yellow envelope and stuff like that. Trying to hit Malcolm off with the yellow envelope, and Malcolm, and then, but that stuff has nothing to do with nothing. That's the waste of time of the movie. They should have went through all the words that day he went through. What did he look up in the dictionary? I'm sure he didn't only look up black and white. What else did they look up? And where that lead them to or whatever like that, to get him to realize, I gotta change how I'm doing this. I can't continue doing this. Right? So Stokely Carmichael, Mikhail. Just so just throw that one in there. Stokely Mikhail. All right. I maintain that every civil rights bill in this country was passed for white people, not for black people. For example, I am black. I know that. I also know that while I am black, I'm a human being. Oh, so that means he's not black then. But if he's too stupid to figure it out, then you'll continue calling him black man when he said that he's a human being. And if he says he's a human being, that means he's part of some type of nation or something like that. But Stokely Carmichael, Mikhail, and don't forget he's from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, so he already has a constitutional mindset because he was around when, Eric Williams was president and stuff like that, bringing back the Republic of Trinidad. But We'll leave that alone. You can do your own research on Dr. Eric Williams. You know what I mean? I know, all the TNT people out there. You ever heard that name in a long time? Dr. Eric Williams. Y'all go do some research on him and all the books that he wrote about how, Trinidad and Tobagonians, whatever, are the Aboriginal people, the Arawaks and all that. So we have a certain degree of knowledge coming from the so-called islands. Because why? Oh, we're American citizens. We're republics of this great republic of the Americans. No different than Brazil, Chile, whoever else is part of the great republic. So are we. I'm telling you, I went to school there. And this is what we learned. That's why Moorish science was so easy for Canaanland. Because majority of people up here are Caribbean people. We already have constitutional mindset. And we got game. We're black people and we're, you know, Jamaican Canadian and Trinidadian Canadian and crap like that. And all that's a fraud. Therefore, I have the right to go into any public place. Oh, public place. He has the right, not a private place. He has the right to go to any public place. Right? And then Moors, Moors already know what happens when you say, you attire yourself as a Moor and you go into a public place. You already know what happens. So he's being specific as to what jurisdiction he's talking about. Oh yeah, and the speech is called Black Power. All the casket carriers. Every time I tried to go into a public place, they stopped me. So some boys had to write a bill to tell that white man, he's a human being, don't stop him. That bill was for the white man, not for me. I knew I could vote all the time. Oh, that's all right then. If you knew that you can vote all the time and that it wasn't a privilege but my right, this is Black Power guy, Stokely Carmichael, Kwame Ture, whatever his name is. Why is he talking constitutional and nobody's talking about that? That's how he was talking. How come they only push like his black stuff? They put the t-shirt, Stokely Carmichael, picture. They say, I am black. And then they quote the Black Power speech. Go back and listen to the song, Dead. And it will explain everything that these jokers are doing. It will explain everything that these jokers are doing in order to have you dead with them. Going reverse into the marvelous light that Noble Drew Ali solidified in a form for you to be like, oh shit, marvelous light. It wasn't spooky anymore. He made it actually tangible for you to go have it for yourself because it's light, so everybody could have some of this. Even though it's in a tangible form. As soon as you touch it, you have yours, there's one there. Oh, I could have two. Oh, and then there's one there. When you get the bag and you're like, oh shit, and then you fill up the bag and you got the two hefty garbage bags of light that Noble Drew Ali brought, marvelous light. And there's still one there for somebody to come get. Then you get the truck and then you fill up the truck and you got fleets of boats and whatever filled with the marvelous light. And there's still one there for somebody to come get. Because marvelous light. Noble Drew Ali never brought that. That's Allah's light. Not a Noble Drew Ali's marvelous light. It's like there's no Taj Bay teachings. What are you talking about? You study the Prophet just like everybody else. Every time I tried, I was shot, killed, or jailed, beaten, or economically deprived. So somebody had to write a bill to tell the white people, when a black man comes to vote, don't bother him. That bill was for white people. I know I can live any place I want to live. It is white people across the country who are incapable of following me to live where I want. You need a civil rights bill, not me. The failure of the civil rights bill isn't because of black power or because of the student nonviolent coordinating committee or because of the rebellions that are occurring in the major cities. That failure is due to the whites' incapacity to deal with their own problem inside their own communities. And so, in a sense, we must ask, how is it that black people move? And what do we do? But the question in a much greater sense is, how can white people, who are the majority and who are responsible for making democracy work, make it work? They have never made democracy work, be it inside the United States, Vietnam, South Africa, the Philippines, South America, Puerto Rico, or wherever America has been. We not only condemn the country for what it has done internally, but we must condemn it for what it does externally. We see this country trying to rule the world, and someone must stand up and start articulating that this country is not God and that it cannot rule the world. Skip ahead, because everybody's going to do their homework. In order to escape that oppression, we must wield the group power we have, not the individual power that this country sets as the criterion under which a man may come into it. That's what is called integration. You do what I tell you to do, and we'll let you sit at the table with us. Well, if you believe in integration, you can come live in Watts. Send your children to the ghetto schools. Let's talk about that. If you believe in integration, then we're going to start adopting us some white people to live in our neighborhoods. So it is clear that this question is not one of integration or segregation. We cannot afford to be concerned about 6% black children in this country whom you allow to enter white schools. 6%. And this is 1966. So what schools were they in 1966? If 6%, okay. So it is clear that this question is not one of integration or segregation. We cannot afford to be concerned about the 6% black children in this country whom you allow to enter white schools. We are going to be concerned about the 94%. You ought to be concerned about them too. But are we willing to be concerned about the black people who will never get to Berkeley, never get to Harvard, and cannot get an education? The ones you'll never get a chance to rub shoulders with and to say and to say why. He's almost as good as we are. He's not like the others. The question is, how can white society begin to move to see black people as human beings? I am black, therefore I am. Not I am black and I must go to college to prove myself. I am black, therefore I am. I am the I am, which isn't, Negro black color talk. That's more science. I self-law, I master. And don't deprive me of anything and say to me that you must go to college before you gain access to X, Y, and Z. Um, yeah. So Black Power speech, Stokely Carmichael, because he goes hard in this. He goes all over the place in this. Right? And always bringing up as a reference other nations, not other groups, organizations out there. Always bringing up other nations, right? Because constitutionalists, that's just what it is. It's unfortunate. People, don't want to accept the reality, but hey, You know, that the reality is that all these people that we call leaders, that they say are some black people during Black History Month and all that, they were not. Put it on the record. They were not. They were constitutionalists. Majority of them, the ones that we at least know about, heard about, had a picture of a shirt with their face on it, whatever. They were constitutionalists. And we're reading that right now in the speeches that these individuals wrote, that we honor, carry their casket. But we're not going to say that we're Moors. We're going to find every excuse to say that we're not the American citizens because we think American, just like he was speaking, his perspective was a little off, you know what I mean, talking about America's doing stuff to people and all that, right? But he was talking about rights. And he was talking about rights in his own land because, he's from the islands. So he's indigenous to here. That's his mindset. I'm telling you, I went to school there. That's the mindset over there. They didn't come over here on a slave ship. We didn't hear none of that when we were over there. They always talk about the Aboriginal indigenous people, the Arawaks and the Caribs or whatever that, we're in this land and, you know, eating this and planting that and whatever. That's what we learn in history school in the islands. They don't teach people came over here on slave ships. Maybe now they do, but when I went to school there, elementary, etc., they weren't teaching that crap, right? They were teaching grammar and etymology and things like that. Now, there's also a speech that you're gonna go check out, 1847, with Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass. And oh yeah, finally saw 12 Years a Slave, and people need slaps. People just need slaps because in the movie it tells people he wasn't no slave. He was free. And who was it? It was a European that said, I'll send that letter. You just write it. Just like Django. European in the back, pretending like, yeah, I'm just, a master on here or whatever like that, when he's not master of anything. He's servant. Servant. 12 Years a Slave showed you this Moor had servants serving him. A couple of them whipped him pretty good, but, that just comes with the territory of having to, do your time in the madhouse. I mean, it's what it is. Do your time in the hole, just because you said that you're a Moor. Just because. Right? So it's in all shapes and forms that you're gonna get this. You have no choice. You're behind. Because the majority of the people who say that they're Moors right now and quote unquote active Moors, they're light years ahead of people who are just coming in this. And people who've been in this for 80 years and whatever. Because active Moors are studious. Active Moors, if you can't get a dictionary, you go to a library or something like that, just so you can look up words and you don't have a dictionary of your own. Just because, how else am I going to find out? I've been online for, 500 years trying to find a Black's Law, a Bouvier Valentine's. Nobody has any for sale. Everybody, I just sold the last one or whatever like that. So that means that things are being taken out of circulation. So, start hitting up the be estate sales or whatever to go try to find whatever. Yeah, oh yeah, 5 hour drive. Oh well, if you want that dictionary, which you're gonna need, it's not even playing around. That's real. Then we'll sacrifice. Everybody sacrifices differently. Oh yeah, in Islam, don't forget, moon vibes tonight. So make sure you got your crystals or whatever like that. Make sure you put them on a windowsill tonight because it's on. Charge those up tonight. Don't play. But it's real right now. It's real. We'll just deal with some questions because you already know. I was have their homework, so they're gonna do their thing. And then don't forget, we're gonna be cutting it kind of close tonight because I was late listening to Sabir Bay show. So I owe y'all some minutes. Um, questions. Sunday L. Peace to the Moors. I'm Sunday L. Wanting to know if you could give some info on how to obtain the Moor license plates I seen so I can exercise my right over here. Also, I wanted to ask about where I can get our flag. You already know who you are, huh? Flag man, right? You called it. Also, I wanted to ask about where I can get our flag to have like these people have their stars and stripes displayed on their property. Much gratitude for any help on these you can give me. With regard to the flag, just the same email. You know what I mean? I'm gonna send you an email with regard to how you can get the flag, right? What you could do is if you really immediate and you want it, go in your territory. They gotta have some kind of flag store, soccer store, or something like that. And just go to them, and you go get it from them, and they'll tell you. You know what I mean? They'll tell you. Probably gonna be, you know, $5, $3, four for 2 cents. Just because nobody's been asking for them, so they got those in the back, boxes and boxes of them. Cause everybody comes for all the other flags around here, but Moroccan flags, only certain people come to get those flags. It seems, you know. These guys, the red feathers and stuff like that, only those guys come for these flags. These particular stores who have these Moroccan flags by the box and they'll sell it to you, $5 a flag, $2 a flag. And then people go, oh, it's only $2, so it can't be that real. Oh, okay. We'll just keep getting our deals on flags, right? So I would try that first for the flag. But, there's Moors out there who deal with, they have stuff in stock and they'll put you off, but, you're not getting the $5. Know that. And that's not raping either. That's, you could either go to the guy in China, just like I'm doing, and get them for $2, and then we could sell them for whatever we want to bring back finance in so we can, because I have 2 jobs, you know what I mean? I have a salary. I don't need to sell no CDs and stuff like that to make fiat. You know what I mean? It's fiat, like, that's not an issue. Fiat's not an issue. So, for people who, say Cujo's raping stuff and all that, you know what I mean? Going in the treasury, taking out stuff in his pocket so he can have the new whatever, No, that's not what's going on. All the fiat that we get goes right back into this temple running out here because, people don't want to pay dues. People don't want to support like how they're supposed to support. Just because, they think there's some cult or whatever. So they're not supporting no cult. But, basketball's a cult. They support that by $500 sneakers and all this type of stuff. Right? Moors license plates, well, first of all, it's not going to be plates. It's going to be tags, and the tag is going to be on your property, just like how they, just like how they tag black on their property, right? And then tell it that he needs a license in order to exercise with that stuff that he bought with his own fiat, but then he took it, sold it to the state to go get some corporate license plates. Okay, so immediately you can't have tags because it seems like you're trying to get out some tickets or something like that. People have no jurisdiction, or you could be a millionaire that got 500 cars, and you want to start showing off your whips. You know what I mean? And you want to do it the proper way because you've been studying RV Bay just like Raven. You know what I mean? You're an American citizen. You want to exercise your right. Well, rights can only be exercised if you know about them. Rights can't be exercised because Cujo said, "Oh yeah, you want the plates? You want the plates? You got the plates. I mean, you got the plates. Whichever one. You use this one on the front, you use this one. We got the plates. But you don't want to exercise this and not have knowledge of what the hell you're doing because these people take your property, take your plates, jack you up, put you in the hole, all this type of stuff, just so they can show other people, don't do what that guy did. Mark my words, that's how they get down. So before you start talking about you want plates and stuff like that, right? Even if you got $1 million and you could buy, 500 of these plates, you know what I mean, at $1 million a plate, right? These aren't plates, they're tags. And tags go on property in order to show who owns it, right? So don't worry about no plates, because they're not plates, they're tags. Don't worry about officer stopping, because he's not an officer, he's a mercenary, right? And you might not want to play around with those people about exercising rights when you don't know what you're doing, because they might not Eric Garner you, you know what I mean? But they'll get at you in some kind of way, you know what I mean? Damage you, you know, internally a bit, you know what I mean? Because their objective is us not waking up. As soon as we wake up, it's over for these people. And when we start waking up, we pinpoint one is tough. There's so many of them. Okay, that one, go get them. Make an example out of everybody else who's not down with it, and the people who are kind of rocky because brother's saying he wants his Moorish stuff. That's real. He wants his Moorish stuff, not the African stuff, not the Nuwapian, not the Oxycontin Nation stuff, not the Amexa Moor stuff, not the the Moor. So you're doing some studying. I mean, Sunday Islam. You're doing some studying, but to get more secure in nationality and birthrights. And we tell people, 2 years, 2 year bid on RV Bay. You survive that, then you're probably ready to exercise something after that 2 years. Yeah, even if you've been studying Constitution for 20 years and you know about, everything having to do with the law, and you're like, you can take the bar exam, pass it tomorrow, you know what I mean, whatever. All that's good. That's cool. You know what I mean? PhD, LLD, RH. Yes. You're perfect. But who's Noble Ali? I don't know. What's his birthday? I don't know. What's one questionnaire? I don't know. What's Holy Quran? Not the Muslim stuff. What's his land called? I don't know. Where do you live? State of what? You don't need any more anything right now. You need to cleanse your mind. You need to get the um, the darkness of sin going in reverse so you can get to the marvelous light. And then when you get the marvelous light, then everything's going to be revealed to you what you have to do. You're not even going to have to ask a question. That's when you know. You don't have to ask a question anymore because everything just is going to gravitate to you that you want to know because you're, on your higher mind. Then you know it's time to exercise some stuff. And you could exercise on a low level. So you reserve your rights on all contracts and, what I mean, the small stuff. You know what I mean? Hear somebody talking about black, you could jump in. Oh, no, black is an adjective, you can't be that, and then you just go about your business. You don't sit there, try to convince them. No, you just plant a seed, keep it moving, next goal, next goal, next goal. But don't worry about no exercising nothing on that level. That's bigger than you even you don't even know how big that is. You don't even know how big that is. What else? Okay. Um, Next question. Let's check this quick. Now we always get the name the name question. Find out your name. You can just check out a book by Grand Governor Heru Ranesi L. Heru Ranesi L. He's in Atlanta, and he has a book about what's in a name. And he has like pages and pages and pages of names, Moorish names, Moorish names. So you can try that for the first part of the question about, names. The other part of the question was dealing with the hyphen on the name. Now, when people get into this information, the most important thing is what's my name going to be? And, how does the L or B work? Like, how does it work with my newfound name? Because, I don't necessarily want to call myself Johnson or whatever, because I know that that's a European name and, etc. So when Moors are studying, right, anything that you read and you don't know what that word means, you have multiple avenues called dictionaries that we're supposed to have. That something, look it up. It's just something that we haven't been taught to do. You know what I mean? And 80% of the time, we've been thinking wrong, totally wrong about things, right? Because we didn't have the proper definition. Just like math equation, there's a problem. And, in that problem, there's a way to get out of it. And there's rules. But if you don't know the rules, then you get every question wrong. Right? So hyphen, from Greek hyph, hen, hyph, apostrophe hen, undertone. French hypo, under, or from, hypo, under, plus hen, neutral of heis, or heis, Heis, which means one more. At, up, same. A punctuation mark used to divide or to compound words or word elements. Hyphenated. The use of hyphenated words as German hyphen American to designate foreign-born citizens of the U.S. of mixed origin, citizens formerly suspected of having conflicting loyalties. Read that one again, just so you know. And this is a modern, dictionary. It's modern. This is not even nothing crazy, but they let you know. So hyphen, a punctuation mark used to divide or to compound words or word elements. All right. So Johnson hyphen Bay. Okay. Hyphenated, adjective, from the use of hyphenated words, and the example they give is as German hyphen American. So German hyphen American. Johnson hyphen Bay. Johnson hyphen Bay. So European American, German American. Johnson L. Bay. To designate foreign-born citizens of the U.S. Oh, what you're going to do now is you're going to go to all these naturalization people and see if they got hyphens on their LB. Because, to be foreign in order to naturalize. But that's talking about being foreign-born or of mixed origin with regard to hyphen or hyphenated. And somebody asked a question about hyphen. So the hyphen would mean that you're a foreigner. And if you're Moorish American and you were born here and you're a descendant of a Moroccan, then you shouldn't have a hyphen, should you? And if you see people pushing hyphen, you know that they're trying to run game on you. And this is just a definition of hyphen that led to other things, and they revealed everything in this white man's book right here that nobody wants to read because the white man stuff. But he's making reference to a German being American. How come he didn't make a reference to a German being Chinese, or a German being Hindu, or a German being Australian, or a German being Filipino, or a German being something other than American? And when we really check it, that's the example that they always use as far as foreigners going somewhere. If European goes to China, is he going to be a European Chinaman? European went to Africa and they called themselves Afrikaner. Not European African, not German Afrikaner, or whatever. They call themselves Afrikaner with a K. Right? Stealing Moore's birthright again, because we already know Africa's synonymous with Moor. Forget Scipio and all that. So the other part of the question was mentioning something about one's placing their L or B within brackets. Okay, so let's go again, dictionary, right? See what a bracket is. Because, this dictionary is pretty weak. And this is schooling people. So imagine if you have like, a real unabridged dictionary. Not a fake one like this. Bracket. Oh, another bracket too. Noun, bracket. From braid, breeches, French, braga, Latin, braca, Gaulish, breaker. From GMC origin, akin to Old High German bruch, B-R-U-O-H. More at breech, B-R-E-E-C-H. An overhanging member that projects from a structure as a wall and is usually de designed to support a vertical load or to strengthen an angle. 2. A short wall shelf, a fixture projecting from a wall or in writing and printing to enclose matters or in mathematics and logic as signs of aggregation. One of the pair of marks used to enclose matter, called also angle bracket, parenthesis, brace, a pair of shots fired to determine the exact distance from gun to target, a section of a continuous numbered or grading series, one of a graded series of income groups. Bracket verb, to place within or as if with brackets. B, separate. 2, to furnish or fasten with brackets, associate, classify, group, to fire a bracket on as a target. So that's the vastness of bracket. But we already know we're not talking about something to hang something on something from an angle and crap like that. So bracket is to separate. So somebody says, yeah, I'm Ali Muhammad, bracket, Bey, on his Moorish nationality paperwork. He's not really saying that he's more from, you know. And then European knows that. That's why, they have the stuff when they were on the show, the impound show, when they couldn't use their whatever crap to get out of the impound. Their little paperwork crap that they try to use, you know what I mean? Put a claim on a property, but have bracket bait and expect these guys to recognize that. And then not tell people that, there's people been locked up forever using his paperwork that he ain't going and helping. Well, I know because, their liaison is calling me because they heard about, the situation of RV Bay and brother got kidnapped or whatever like that, and then they used writ of habeas corpus and helped him. How come Ali Muhammad's not teaching that stuff to us? I don't know, you ask him that. Well, I can't ask him that. I haven't talked to him in like 4 months or whatever like that because, I've been left here. We were talking crap about Moors, putting out videos all the time about Moors, but, they're leaving people to dry in prison. And not even contacting or nothing like that. Not even reaching out. That I had to give them the sorry information that, he sold you some club stuff. That's why he's not coming to your aid. Because that ain't not no that ain't no nation. That's not no nationhood. That's some IRS organization that sanctioned him. And then now he's gonna ride on Sabir's coattails to still try to get in. You know what I mean? Jokers. Super jokers. the last one was a question. Oh no, this is not a question. This is just an email. So we'll put this out there, just because people need to know. You know, all these YouTube people, you know, with no pictures, leaving comments and stuff like that. You know, crazy people, agents, whatever, out there just, you know, shift, trying to shift Cujo like I'm budging from somewhere. I know what Noble Drew Ali brought. And I know what Dirty Moors did to him. They're not gaming me. So let's just read this one. Um, so the email I sent to him was, did he see the latest fraudsters going at Cujo on a video called Moorish Justice on YouTube? And after you watch that, make sure you watch Judicial Proclamation versus Oath of Amnesty. So this is the brother's reply. I watched the video and I must say that you put the stamp on that question. When I think about naturalization, it's kind of funny, but not really. It would be like your neighbor from across the street showing up at your house uninvited, and when he gets to your use house, you start asking him permission to do things in your house, like going to your refrigerator to make a sandwich. And then when he says no, then you proclaim your authority, and when he challenges that, then you try to stand on your square. The thing is, you gave up your authority when you started asking for permission to do anything in your own house. Normally, in a situation like that, you just go to your fridge and get whatever you want, and if anyone challenges that, then you would proclaim your authority and stand on your square. Because if you don't, then you'll just be sandwichless, if that's even a word. It's really just common sense when you think about it. On top of that, Noble Drew Ali already told us, no one can change a person's descendant nature unless their power exceeds that of the great God himself. And if anyone would know, it would be him, because he told us who we are and reclaimed the estate for us. I swear, he ain't never lied. Just think and save yourself. I know one thing, there'd be a lot of sandwichless Moors following these clowns. Islam, right? So that's Brother Eric or Bay. You know, no hyphen, no brackets. Right? So, in honor of all the constitutionalists that told us that we're supposed to be, abiding by the Constitution, and we have rights and all that. You know what I mean? All the Black Power guys. Make sure you're listening. Probably won't listen though, because you guys don't watch Canaanland Moors. So all the people who do have some common sense that's watching, you know what I mean, and picking up stuff, start thinking like the brother's saying, save yourself. And in thinking and saving yourself, we will get to where we're supposed to be. Why? Because the foundation's been laid since Frederick Douglass and people before him. The stones have been laid. And the capstone was Noble Drew Ali. That was the capstone. The capstone was the Prophet. This is a divine warning by the Prophet for the nation. And remember, again, they gotta be well stuff. All these other people that they say, the black leaders or whatever, that are pushing black power and pushing, kill crackers and whatever like that, and, go to their words and see what they said. Forget what these clowns are saying, these casket-carrying cokeheads are saying about Moors. You go check the stuff for yourself. and see what's right and exact. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to that state of mind of the ancient foremothers or the ancient forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine rights as citizens according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name, right? So what these guys are going to try to tell you that, they must proclaim their free national name, right? Their free national name is, Irish, German, French, blah, blah, blah. So if those people proclaim their free national name and religion, then there is one issue for them to be recognized by this government on earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish divine and national movement. That's why Turks, Japanese, Chinese, whoever were part of the temple. Because, a foreigner comes here, we go join the Moorish Science Temple. That's the order. That's the rule. Don't know about dumb people who don't know why they're joining. Well, those people who are joining, they know exactly why they're going there. Because that's the only jurisdiction, because you guys have been bankrupt since 1929. And all these other nations of the world have their own history and their own prophets that came and told them what they're supposed to do when they see certain things being prophesied in the media or whatever. You see them, make sure you go get your stuff. So everybody knows except, the dumbos, right? And again, Noble Ali is the capstone. Put all this thing together, right? That, oh yeah, Islam to the Moors in Cali. Because one of the Moors, he's on his little cruise or whatever right now. And he's taking pictures with top chef of the cruise ship. Find me some black guy on the cruise or whatever, Negro colored, whoever, going there, got to spend some fiat, go on the cruise with my, family and whatever. Let me see their pictures let me see their pictures. Let me see their pictures. Don't show me the picture of you on the boat with the railing, you know what I mean, and the water behind you. Show me the picture of all the other nationals on the boat that, were willing to say, hey, selfie, not be found. Front. Nationality is the order of the day. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people. So, because remember, everybody's already on board. Right? Remember, everybody's on board because they already had a constitutional mindset. They already had their great-great-grandmother, whatever, story, the oral tradition of, when it's daytime, when it's supposed to be nighttime, and nighttime when it's supposed to be daytime, prophet's coming. Everybody received the lessons and they did their little studying or whatever, their 20 years and whatever, constitutional study and all that stuff. Make sure they were sure in what rights are versus privileges, what American citizen is versus some democracy crap that these guys are going to be pushing eventually. Because remember, oral traditions is really what keeps, that's why we got 500 classes, because, ain't nobody going to tell you this stuff we're telling you, other than other Moors who are active and studious and constitutional and civic. Otherwise, you think there's some religious stuff, guys in funny hats. Don't know that this is a birthright that you can go out there, exercise, go to those that know law in City Hall. You could go to them and ask them under an intelligent tone. And not only go to the people in City Hall and among the officials in your government, who are the grand sheikhs, the grand governors, the grand secretary, grand treasurer, grand whoever, mufti, grand, whatever they call themselves, as far as the Moorish nation, they talk about your government officials, yours. So Noble Drew Ali's telling you that they know this stuff. If he's telling you, you don't believe that I'm legit, go to your government officials and go to those guys in City Hall after you go to your government officials. So you can get two verifications that the source is really telling you what's up. Ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will be glad to render you a favorable reply. They'll render you a favorable reply, just like the Moor that said, hey, I'm Moorish American. What's your nationality? Hey, I'm Chinese. Selfie. And just did it just because he knows that that brother needed to get a favorable reply to prove to him. Because don't forget, he already knows about nationality and stuff like that. He was taught that from this. He see brother locks and all that. Oh yeah, Negro, another Negro on this cruise or whatever. When is there gonna be somebody who has some common sense or whatever? Oh my God, there's one. Oh, he started talking about Moorish history and all this type of stuff. Oh, that's definitely not a black guy. I need to capture this moment. Selfie, smiling. Chinaman had to smile like because he rendered him a favorable reply. Why? Because he was glad to see that the brother was brought into the marvelous light of nationality and birthrights. Right? And that's the period. And that's how we end class today. So Islam to all the Moors, because we only got 20 minutes left. And you already know that they're probably gonna go in tonight. You know. Okay, I'm not gonna front. We're gonna go in because I'm gonna be there too. I mean, you already know what it is. You already know what it is. Right? Call-in number for Moors Heritage and History School. Eyes Wide Open on Blog Talk Radio. MHHS Eyes Wide Open. 347 945 5899. 347 945 5899. Internet feed goes to 11:30. So make sure you call in before 11:30 because 11:30 party's over. But sometimes when they say you don't gotta go home, you gotta get the hell out of here. Okay, well we go off the internet and then we go on the phone, and then we go on the phone. Sometimes more is beyond there till 12:30 or whatever. Most times, not even. I'm long gone. I'm long gone. So Islam to all the Moors, peace and love, Hotep, all that. Let's just close out with this prayer. Go get your little water, use the washroom and stuff like that, and then we'll we'll connect again in 20 minutes. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through His holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, Islam, Ashe, Shalom, peace, Hotep. Anything else that we want to say, because everything is our stuff. And Islam to all the Moors that are, international, the Moors that are outside the jurisdiction of the Americas and the adjoining islands. Islam to y'all. Give thanks. And see y'all soon. Oh yeah, and don't forget, we gotta plug it again. WillofAllah.com. Make sure you go support the new Iron Sheik album, Iron Sheik 5, right? Started recording the Moorish MC Iron Sheik albums, right? 2010, 2014 right now. You could say 2009, but it was really 2010, right? Early 2010, the first one dropped. So, you know, we're at 5 right now. 2 of them are double albums. And it's a free mix CD. Willofallah.com. Nobody's gonna give it to you like Iron Sheik Moorish MC. Oh yeah. And don't forget the Al Moroccan album, the compilation album from Canaanland's coming. Put that on the record. And that y'all gonna be wanting to get peace on. Islam.